We have already conducted our strategic planning process, which consisted of really an assessment of everything that's going on in the county. We've done a lot of research and presenting on evidence-based programs that could be appropriate responses to the issues in our community.
We use the momentum of the grant to really capitalize on the opportunity to really think about our planning process and to really engage in the strategic planning process and the community needs analysis process. And the plan sort of aligned all of those efforts and brought us all together around a common vision.
I believe it has had a positive impact on our community. It's given us an opportunity to partner with other smaller organizations in the community to provide some ongoing resources and services through our strategic plan and the community analysis.
The OJJPP grant helped them out because it was able to establish a music studio, and so that was able to bring in kids who don't usually come into regular programming. And so we looked at kids' street outreach, and so those kids were able to participate in programming and participate in training and look for jobs. We looked at trauma-informed care, and so we were able to with an organization called Alive and Well, we were able to get over 100 youth this summer to actually participate in trauma-informed workshops and get them trauma-informed. And some of those youth are still receiving follow-up services because some of those wounds are open, and we wanted to make sure that we could help them heal in that process.
It's been really great to enhance our juvenile delinquency prevention efforts, and this grant has enabled us to enhance that and add different components. So we've been able to add law enforcement suppression efforts. We've been able to add reentry and also focus on an older youth and young adult population, as well as individuals who are in the deeper end of the criminal justice system or in committing violence and perpetrating offenses in the community.
The announcement called for community-driven strategies and really looking at collaboration. And so one of the things that we've been able to do and how it's impacted our community is utilize the momentum of the plan to really give us the momentum we needed to really move the work.
And so we do have some programs that have definitely impacted youth. For example, our pop-up play streets, which has happened in all three of our municipalities, kind of like taking an area in the city, usually in a hotspot area of gun violence, so youth can have a safe place to play and learn.
Youth Violence Prevention Week is a fairly new initiative in the city of Richmond where we do an awareness campaign for our young people and our parents. But one of the unique things about Youth Violence Prevention Week in Richmond is we really capitalize on the opportunity to really hear from our young people and empower them to really advocate for some of the things that they want to see changed in their community.
So the first thing that we were able to roll out was our strategic offender initiative. And we were able to do that in part because it's a collaboration of law enforcement and the prosecutor's office. But we were able to use the process and the groups that we had together to really formulate a strategic plan to focus on a smaller group of offenders.
I'm really excited to report that there's usually about between 50 and 75 individuals a part of that effort, but we've already been able to remove about 24 individuals and get them off the street so that they're no longer perpetrating violence in our community.
So one of the things that we've recently done is we've supported a program that's operating out of the Richmond Public Schools with one of our mental and behavioral health service providers, where they are working on socially emotional learning with our 3rd and 5th graders. We've actually worked with them to identify an assessment tool where they are able to now track the results and the impact that they're making in the schools with this program. And it'll also help us, again, be able to really hone in on the impact that the program and the work is having so that we can start to expand this program to other schools within the city of Richmond.
We're all about evaluation. So we ensure, as part of the strategic plan, that there were performance measures. And so we've created outputs for each of our efforts, as well as what are the performance outcomes that we want to achieve and how are we going to measure them. And we talk about that in our subcommittees, and then we review what's going on with each of the programs and the efforts, and we look at the numbers, and we talk about what else can be done, how can we enhance this, how we can improve this, how can we continue to make things better.
One of the resources that we'll be using is EBO, and that's efforts to outcome. And that gives all of our partners an opportunity to track their data based on some of the outcomes and things that we are looking for through the Safe and Thriving grant.
We've implemented a steering committee, and we call that committee our strategic planning subcommittee, where we have diverse representation that really is focused on checking in on the performance measures of our strategic plan and to make sure that we're on track with the deliverables and the outcomes that we intended to produce out of the work that we're doing.
Preventing and reducing gang and gun violence is really hard and complex work.
Partnerships are key, relationships are key, and that has created more of a family atmosphere for the work that we're doing. If I need something, I can call them and they're there, and vice versa. So that's true partnership and true collective impact.
Being able to collaborate together with that shared vision, make sure that our resources are used efficiently and effectively is really one of the best parts of this partnership. Being able to use those tools and have that collective impact and be efficient with how we work together is something that I think is really what's going to make this entire project successful for both of our organizations.
We went through a major change in political transition, from mayors to police chiefs to city councils, county councils. And one thing that we did learn is establishing that early relationship allowed us to continue the level of consistency amongst the core team that allowed the project to continue. So I think it's important that you identify things maybe that don't go well. I think it's a lesson in humility, bringing everybody to the table and finding out what works and what doesn't work, and learning how to better how you do it next time.
So it's great that we have this opportunity with Safe and Thriving. The question is what's next? And so part of what's next is a lesson that we're learning in terms of that sustainability.
This is work that needs to be done over the long term, and there needs to be that commitment to do this work over many, many years, and to continue the efforts that you see are promising, that are working, and then be able to adjust those that maybe aren't working as well as you think that they should be working. But how can we learn from these and make our communities even stronger?